In stillness, one is granted the luxury and freedom of remaining indefinitely in a carefree state, where one can tolerate or even enjoy endless periods of doing nothing and being nowhere. And one might get the impression that being still is a timid and meek state. But that is the furthest from the truth, because the presence that flowers from anchoring deeply in being is an overflow of energy. It is the most piercing and immovable force. For the body mind structure to submerge and dissolve in being, it would have to go through innumerable, countless deaths, until all that remains is presence, pure, unadulterated being. When one abides in being, he innately recognizes that any and all imagination is a form of limitation. Spiritual or worldly is of no significance. Stillness is beyond any physical sense, beyond any imagination, beyond any concept. It's even beyond language itself. It is a constant that all experience can seamlessly float in. It is a weightless state. Through the purification that comes with abiding in stillness, one sheds the density and fragmentation of the body mind structure. He becomes expanse. He becomes lighter, more graceful. But with that shedding, one also loses in all sorts of ways. But what they lose are mostly limitations, and what they're granted is far more pure and far more powerful. Impulses may remain, but there's a great distance between one's presence and one's impulse. In stillness, there's no real solid engagement with anything outside of being. It is only by going beyond something that someone can be free of it. That's the key to mastery, transcendence through abiding in stillness. It does not mean that one becomes a rock. In fact, in stillness, one is granted the freedom of playing any character, precisely because they can always and instantaneously snap back into a state of stillness, into a non engaged, carefree state. Stillness is oblivion, and many people experience short, temporary, surface level bouts of oblivion in work, in sex, or in sports. But those aren't the real complete oblivions, since they are transient. It's like taking a strong psychedelic drug and thinking that singular experience becomes the default experience. But that is never the case. The real, resounding, permanent oblivion is found only in immovable stillness. And this essence of stillness, this field of being, can only come about and crystallize through direct and immersive exposure. It cannot come through any other means. Neither self inquiry or practice will take one into the deepest stillness. Only in silence can the essence of stillness be transmitted. It requires a direct transmission. Be it with a sacred site or a living master, the contact and absorption is the most primary and essential element. If you cannot meet the living master through silence, you cannot meet them. At the highest level, one cannot go into the deepest stillness without going to the master, to the guru. Before the Buddha, there was the guru, and no Buddha can ever exist without the guru. So if you're not in the immediate presence of a living master, or at the very least with someone who is deeply grounded in being, it is best to forget this realm entirely. Whatever stillness you seek, you will find in movement and play.